Yo, so this episode was lit. IcyHot finally lives up to his name of being IcyHot. So, pretty much this episode was basically Shoto versus Midoriya. So, if you guys were hyped for this episode, or if you guys enjoyed this episode, or you enjoyed this episode review that we about to get into, go on ahead and give a good old-fashioned Detroit smash to that like button. And if you are new here, definitely consider subscribing, because I over here am doing a whole bunch of stuff My Hero Academia related, from discussions, talks, and just reviewing the episodes week by week with my homie here. So, cuz, you ready to get into this episode? You ready? You ready for this?
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Because this episode was literally nothing but the fight. This was probably one of the... I'm trying to think of another fight in season 1 that was this emotional. But this was definitely the most emotional fight. Like, the fight starts off with a bang, yo. Like, Shoto is literally using his ice powers. He's trying to freeze... He's freezing Izuku. He's trying to freeze Izuku. And Izuku is just giving him the flick of the finger. He is flicking the finger. Like, literally, he's basically using his quirk to just use... He's using his fingers to kind of flick this... He's trying to get him to... He's just trying to simply push him out of the ring by creating air pressure from his flick. But because he's using 100% of his power, he's actually breaking his fingers every time he's flicking. In the middle of the fight, he's even like, I only have 6 more tries, because that's how many fingers he has left to flick to push Shoto back enough. And like, the fight, I mean, if you think about it, the fight was probably a short fight, but in all actuality, like, I think my favorite part of this whole fight was definitely getting to learn more about Shoto and, like, just how he grew up. Because the kid really had a hard life, man. Like, you know, like, the only reason his parents got together was just so they could just knock boots. I don't know what other way I can put it. So they could screw, just so they could make a son that had a powerful quirk. So, like, you know, it's kind of like, well, like, and I've talked about this in the previous episode reviews, whereas, you know, Shoto was just kind of, you know, he was just kind of in this situation where everyone expected a lot from him, and they just want, you know, and you know, especially his father just wants to see him be great, and just kind of beat someone who has a similar quirk to All Might. Whereas Izuku was kind of like the guy that no one expected anything from, but now he can become something great. So you really just kind of see the clash of both of these guys' wills going back and forth on the stage, and like, the fight was just, it was utterly incredible. As far as the animation goes in this episode, the animation was, that animation this week, it was good.
It was dope.
It was really, really good. And oh my god, I feel like this is gonna be more of a talk and less of an episode review. But bro, can we talk? That the part when Izuku was like, "Yo, you're not going all out. You're over here using your ice powers, and it's literally freezing half of your body. And you should just be you should be ashamed that you're not coming at me full strength." Like, bro, Deku has some cojones. He has some cojones. Just say that to the boy.
If that's what you want to call it.
I mean, that man had cojones. I mean, and literally when he was like, bro, I mean, and it kind of goes back to Shoto, kind of like, you know, he's like, because Izuku does say, it's your quirk. It's your power. I mean, granted, screw it. You know what I mean? Like, screw how you got the power. You know? I mean, it's your power. It's not your dad's. It's not your mom's. Even though it came from them, it's yours. You do what you want with it. I kind of like that, because that was that was kind of also Izuku kind of giving Endeavor the middle finger as well. That was kind of like a giant F you to Endeavor as well. You know, so like through the fight, he kind of helped Shoto accept who he is. So I thought that was really cool as well. But bro, you know what was literally tearing, like I literally was getting like emotional when Izuku when he was still flicking at Shoto, even though his fingers were broken. I was like, bro, my son.
You wanted that W.
He wanted it, but it was because, you know, everybody here is fighting their hardest, and he's like, yo, you're not fighting your hardest. So Izuku's like, yo, I'm gonna beat you because I'm gonna put my everything into this. And Shoto was kind of being half cocked. I mean, he literally was half cocked. He's been using his ice powers the entire time. And you know, and it kind of does, and I love the fact that this is like a little side tangent, but even Bakugo, he was watching the fight, and you know, and everybody else was like, you know, Bakugo, you got a great quirk too, you know, you have, you know, there's no lag or there's no delay when you use your quirk. And he's like, yo, my quirk has a drawback too. He's like, I can't overuse my quirk either, because like my muscles start to tense up and, you know, my muscles hurt. So it's like, it's cool that like even Bakugo is like, you know, he's like, you know, a quirk is still a physical ability. And I think that's what I really like about the show in general, is that quirks, even though they do their own weird zany things, it's still a physical aspect of them, because it still does it you have to train it. You know, it's like training your quirk is like literally training a muscle in your body. You know, it's like training muscles. Like you know, you've got to keep developing it or it's not going to get any stronger, you know. So I like that aspect of it. I love how they treat quirks in this show, or they treat superpowers in general. But back to that amazing fight. After that, that's kind of like when Shoto he's like, you know what, I'm done. And the man finally fulfills his role as IcyHot, and he got hot. You know what, cuz I don't know if you realized it, but when we were watching the episode, did you realize that first he was icy? And he was like literally freezing himself over, and then he got hot, and then the ice melted away. I was like, this boy putting Shaquille O'Neal out of business.
Well, Shaq put himself out of business.
That man hasn't done an IcyHot commercial in forever. I haven't seen one anyway.
The moment he started doing general insurance commercials, his career was done.
He does insurance
now? Done.
Oh, anyway, totally off track. But so basically, Shoto, he's like, all right, cool, the gloves are coming off, and these guys, bro, the final 5 minutes of that episode, the last like minute and a half of that, the last throwdown. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about how crazy that was?
I mean, bruh,
you describe it in your own words. What was that? What was that beautifulness?
That was Dragon Ball Z.
That was like DBZ levels of high. Like, I have not been that high. And I'm watching Super, by the way. And I'm enjoying it. But all besides the point. I have not had goosebumps like that since Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan. Like, Father Son Kamehameha Cell. Like, that was dude, I haven't had goosebumps like that in a minute. Like, the animation was crazy. Like, Toradoki, like, using his ice and like fire powers together to like make like an explosion, and then Deku throwing his whole body into it. Like, it got to the point where they were fighting so recklessly that the proctors was like, yo, they have to stop. They're gonna kill each other if they keep this up. Like, they had to literally like cushion the blow because they were so at it. You know what I mean? It was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It was phenomenal. And then you see Deku throwing. He's throwing his legs into it. He's throwing his arm into it. He's like, yo, I'm blowing this man back. I'm going to try my best to blow this man back. And Shoto, he throws everything he has at him. It's a huge explosion. There's like, everyone is like, yo, they were really in it. They were really, they threw hands. And then the dust settles. And my boy Izuku was knocked out the ring. Izuku is disqualified. IcyHot moves on to the next round. Boom. The episode ends. I really don't have a favorite part. I'm gonna always ask you. I'm gonna ask you guys what was your favorite part of this episode. I loved it. Honestly, this episode was a 10 out of 10. It was amazing. I loved every single moment from it, from beginning to end. I don't even have a bad part of this episode. So I can't even pick a part. I love the entire episode. Cuz, what about you? Did you have any favorite moments, parts?
The last bit of it.
The last
the last 2 minutes, and then the explosion, and then I'm sorry, but the sun got blown back. It was entertaining.
My son did get blown back, but he threw his hands though. He threw hands. He
represented.
He really did represent this week, and I think I'm a proud father. If Izuku's my son, I am a proud ass father. Excuse my French. I'm proud. I'm proud of that little boy. Proud of that man. But anyway, that pretty much does cap off the episode here. Next week, what do we got next week, cuz? What we got next week?
I was so blown back, I don't remember.
I'm so blown. No, we actually do have. We're continuing the tournament. There's some more fights. Izuku's kind of watching on the sidelines now as he watches like Ida and everybody else fight their next rounds. So that's pretty much what's going on as of this week. So I hope you guys did enjoy us talking about it. I know we kind of we had a little bit of side tangents here and there, but yo, all in all, 10 out of 10. This episode was amazing. Hopefully you guys watched it. If you do, let us feel your hype in the comment section below. I mean, that was just great. I want to know how many people love this episode. I mean, hashtag love if you love this episode. Like, I just loved it. I love this series so much. But anyway, me and my homie Taylor, we're gonna bounce up out of here. But without further ado, thank you, cuz, as always, for being on this week's episode.
No problem, dog.
And if you also want to check out more of his stuff, he does a lot of anime unboxings and stuff like that. He's also reviewing season 2 of Attack on Titan, and I'm actually with him doing that on his channel, so definitely go check the boy out and send him some of that trailblazing love. And hey guys, we're still on that road to 100, so definitely if you are new here, definitely subscribe, because we doing our own thing over here and we're having fun. So anyway, me and Taylor, we're gonna bounce up out of here. I'm Sheriff and I'm signing off, guys. Peace.